Okay, looks like I is live. I is live right now. What am I doing? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh wait, I hit the wrong. Oh, flipping! I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I is live right now. Let me That's what I wanted to do. Here we go. But yeah, I am. I am. Where am I actually? I'm in Wandsworth, Nine Elms, and I have sizzling spicy chorizo flavor. I've tried some already. It's too bad, but it ain't spicy. Don't overall. Well, yeah. Want to come online, talk for a little bit? Y'all hear about Beyonce though? Because they got Beyonce. The Council Culture crew got Beyonce. I didn't even know this happened until today, this afternoon maybe. But apparently she's editing one of her songs, one of her recent songs on the album, on the new album, because she uses a word that some people find offensive. So similar to what happened with Lizzo a few weeks back. But I guess that means that we are in an era where artists are willing to edit their songs to avoid backlash and offending people and things like that. And as much as, of course, they're entitled to do that, of course they're entitled to edit their songs if they want to, it's their songs, right? Of course they can do that. I'm not sure this is a good idea. I'm not sure this is a good thing. I mean, artists editing their songs is not new, right? They've always done that. They've always added bits or changed bits or had another artist feature on it, or a different version with the music, or a different DJ, or you know what I mean? They've always done rap versions, hip hop, rock versions. There's always been different versions of songs throughout the ages. That's not new. But the original always existed. You know, it was never like deleted or wiped off the face of the earth and replaced with something else. Now it's like a song gets released, a group of people get offended, the song gets edited, and because everything is streamed rather than, you know, bought, like CDs back in the days of CDs and physical media, everything is streamed now. Once that is changed, you can no longer listen to that original version anymore. That's gone. You know what I mean? At least not in any official capacity. Once it's changed, it's changed. Yo, what up, Brax? How you doing today, sir? There's a saying about so I heard about Beyonce today. Beyonce edited one of her songs on the new album because it uses a word that some people found offensive. That's cool as of now. Awesome. That's good to hear. I'm just saying, like, as much as I feel like, you know, it's her choice, right? It's her song. She can do what she wants. I don't feel this is a good thing. No, there's a church of her in some state. Yeah, yeah, Church of Beyoncé. I've heard of that. Surfboard. Praying in the name of Beyonce. Hey, listen. I've said it before. Stan culture is not healthy. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of an artist and liking an artist, even really liking an artist, you know. I get it, you know. certain musicians you can really connect with because their music, what they talk about, their general kind of style and things like that. I get it. You can feel really attached to an artist, and there's nothing wrong with feeling like a close attachment to an artist because art can be personal. But you gotta draw that line, man. You gotta draw that line. You can't be standing people. Nobody is God out here. None of us humans. We're not God. You know, we're people. We are born, we live, we die. We eat, we sleep, we poop, we piss. You know, we are human. And some of us have certain skills and talents and things like that. And some of us have other types of skills and talents. Some of us never use our skills and talents. I mean, that's just true too. But the bottom line is we're all human. And anytime you worship somebody like that, that is not healthy. That is not healthy at all. But when this thing happened to Lizzo though, one of the things I was thinking of is that, you know, what does this mean for music going forward? And now it's happening to Beyonce, Queen Beyonce, you know, probably the biggest star on the planet right now, biggest music star on the planet right now, probably. And even she is changing her song. And it just, I can't see nothing good coming from this. Because if artists are no longer able to express themselves in the ways that are authentic to themselves, then by default, everything they put out lacks integrity. Everything they put out lacks any real kind of passion or truth or just self. Because if in your culture you use words like spazzing out and stuff like that, and you know it means, you know, that kind of thing in your culture is, you know, get a bit crazy, get a bit wild, and that kind of thing, and that should not be an issue. You should be able to use those words in your songs and in your art. And I get it, that word is offensive in other parts of the world. I'm not trying to diminish that, but at the same time, it's like, if you understand that's not what they mean by it, yet you still choose to take offense to it, that is a you problem. You know what I mean? Like, if I know somebody is saying something and they don't mean it any bad way, but I choose to take it in a bad way, how is that their problem? So far, the only main song I like from her in the past years is Petition. Oh, that's another one that got in trouble actually with Monica Lewinsky, and that was in 2014. That got released back then. She has a line in there about Monica Lewinsky all over my blouse. Not quite accurate as to what happened, but that's the line. And Monica Lewinsky apparently didn't like that too much. In fact, she put out a tweet recently talking about, yeah, maybe we could get that changed too. I don't know, man. I don't see this. Yeah. I don't think this is a good thing, man. I hope other artists don't follow suit, because music as it is already has issues with being genuine at times, because there's so many, like, you know, producers and writers and whoever else involved, where it's not always going to be exactly what the artist wants anyway. And now you got this added thing of like the public weighing in and saying, well, I don't like it. I mean, what happens if a person is offended by something that is actually just a point of the song? And the reality is that you don't have a right to not be offended. You know, you don't. Like, if something upsets you, you know, you're allowed to be upset by that, because if some, you know, no one's saying you're not allowed to be upset, But that is something for you to deal with. Like, things exist. Not everything is about making you happy. You know, not every song exists to make you happy. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes songs exist to get you thinking. And maybe that's not always the intention of from the song, from the musician. But at the same time, it's like, if you're upset by something, that is something for you to deal with. You can't be putting that on the artist, saying, no, you must change it because I don't like it. Like, nah, you've got to figure out why you're upset by it, especially when you know what they mean by what they're saying, but yet you're still choosing to take it in another way. It's like, what happens if a song comes out and the lyrics are, I don't know, I like to drive my car, and then somebody decides that in their part of the world, driving your car is like an offensive term towards certain people. You know what I mean? There's a point where you have to feel like, oh, you have to kind of draw the line and say, look, sorry, but not sorry. Like, end of the day, you know what you mean by your words. You know you didn't mean anything offensive or bad by it. If people are choosing to take it that way, I feel like that's just not the problem. That's not the issue of the artist. But now it seems we're in a world where artists are willing to change their songs to appease people, and I just don't feel that's a good thing. I don't see this as a good thing. But it could end up being their problem. Mofos can always get real with getting their message or point across in this day in time. Mofos tolerance tank is on E. Well, ain't that the truth? Well, the thing is, for a musician, it shouldn't be about making money and being popular. I mean, I get it. Of course, they want to make money. Of course, you want to be popular. I get that. I'm not saying don't go for those things. But when a musician starts to put their popularity and their likability above their creativity, that's a problem. That's a problem. You know? Maybe right now it's a small problem. Maybe right now the change is small and doesn't maybe make the song too much different or whatever, but nah, man. These are dangerous waters. And if it continues like this, if you start seeing more and more artists doing these sorts of things, which is possible. I mean, Beyoncé, biggest star on the planet, is changing her lyrics. What does that mean for up-and-coming artists who are trying to make their name for themselves? Now, if Beyonce's going to change it, what about like the next person coming up? I don't know, man. It does. I don't think this helps artists. I don't think this helps artists. I don't think, honestly, I don't even think it helps the consumers of art. I don't think it helps people who listen to music. Because if all you're gonna do is listen to stuff that makes you happy, you're missing the point of art. It's not always about that. Remember back in mid-90s to mid-2000s when women, Black American women in particular, were filing complaints about rappers saying bitch and hoe. A lot of the chicks in the vids didn't even mind. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying people have to like everything. You know, you don't have to like. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, if you're being called a bitch and a hoe, yeah, you have a right to not like that. But yeah, I mean, what did they? I don't think they changed the songs back then, did they? I'm pretty sure they didn't change the songs. Cause I remember, well, I don't maybe not remember all those complaints. I remember like it being a thing. I'm like, why are they gonna say bitch all the time? Why are you gonna say hoe? But they didn't change the songs. You know, you can still find those songs and listen to them, and they'll still be saying bitch and hoe and everything else in there. You know, the songs did not change. Now people are re-editing and re-recording and changing the songs, and then making it so that the original version no longer exists. That's what's happening now. You can't hear the original version of that Lizzo song no more. You can't, unless you go into some unofficial version of site or whatever. But if you go to any official outlets, you will not hear the original version of Girls by Lizzo. It don't exist no more, or rather it don't exist in the public no more. Not officially anyway. Even that documentary or story with Nelly when he did Hot in Here or some other song, when it came to certain areas of his music videos, he said it was the girl's idea. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to that sort of stuff about, you know, bitch, hoe, and, you know, sexy girls, and just, there's always going to be people who like him, always going to be people who don't. Pretty much with anything, really. People who like it, people who don't. Some girls are going to love it, some girls aren't. Some girls are going to be like, yeah, do this, have me in a bikini and whatever, and yeah, they didn't change it. Those songs still exist. So some girls are going to love it, and other girls are going to be like, no, I don't like it. I don't think it represents women, blah, 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 and whatever. Bottom line is that, look, the artist has a right to express themselves in any which way they want to. Some people are going to like the way they express themselves, some people aren't. And if you're one of the people who aren't, then you have a choice. You either don't listen to it, right? Or you listen to it and try to understand why you don't like it. Because I feel that's a better way to go about these things. If there's something in a piece of art that upsets you, figure out why that upsets you. It's not for the artist to change that thing because it upsets you. You know, especially when you know that they don't mean anything negative by it. You know that. And yet people are still choosing to be offended. They're choosing to be offended. That is a you problem, not a Beyonce problem, not a Lizzo problem. But yeah, they've changed their songs, and it's like, I mean, look, it's their choice. Like I said, that's their song. They can do it if they want to. But mate, I do not see this as a good move. And especially with Beyonce doing it, Beyonce being in the position that she's in, the pressure that puts on other artists now to change their songs when somebody doesn't like something they're offended by, because Beyonce did it. I don't know, man. I don't know when people got this idea where they start to feel like they're entitled to certain things from other people. I don't know where that came from, man. Somewhere along the lines, people got this idea that they're entitled to certain things from musicians or from movies or from whatever it is. And they're not. You're not entitled to anything. Just because you're a fan of something, or maybe you've been a fan of Beyonce your whole life or a whole career, whatever, it does not entitle you to anything from her. There we go, man. Here we are. Yeah, well, as far as the words goes, when a lady rapper says the same words of a group of bros who get that the male rappers are on mute. Well, I think to be fair though, certain words hit different depending on where they're coming from. So that could be part of it. You know, a man saying something versus a woman saying something, you know, depending on what that thing is, it kind of hits different. You know, kind of like the N-word. Kind of like that. Me saying nigger is going to hit different than a white guy saying it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it depends on what the words are, but yeah, I mean, I think I get it. Like certain words will just hit different depending on who's saying it. You know what? Most musicians don't become wealthy. Most artists in general, most musicians, most actors, most filmmakers, any artistic creative field, most people do not become wealthy. Most people you'll never even hear about. Like the amount of people who become musicians is like this, right? The amount of people that you've heard of is probably more like this. And then from there, the amount of people who actually become wealthy is more like this. You know what I mean? It's a small group. But those are the most famous people. That small group was the most famous people. So those ones you hear about the most. But all these people, right, you never hear about. You know, a lot of them work regular jobs while they're doing their music. You know, they do gigs from time to time when they can. Some of them are doing well enough to get gigs regular. What up, Frozen G? So yeah, most musicians, most artists don't become wealthy. They don't become rich. A lot of them stay working a job while doing their music and they're just putting stuff out. Well, it's just the ones that you hear about, this small group of people that you hear about, they become the most famous and usually the richest as well. But that's just a small group you hear about. Or at least, well, I say small in comparison to the amount of people that are actually doing it. But yeah, it's a tough industry. Any kind of creative field is tough to make money in. Like, even to get to the point where you can earn, say, an average wage. Like, what's the average wage? I think the average wage in America is around $30,000 a year. Is that right? I don't know. I mean, I think I heard it's around about there. But whatever the average wage is in your country, in the UK, I think it's around 20 to 25,000. The average wage in the UK per year, pounds that is. But whatever the average wage in your country, even to get to the point where you can earn that amount of money is tremendous amounts of work. It is tremendous amounts of time and energy and effort. I mean, some people are lucky enough to get fast tracks because, you know, they might know some people and this, that, and the other. But even then, it's still a lot of work to maintain it. So yeah, most artists do not become wealthy. Most artists, if they're lucky, could just make a living and not have to work another job. But they're not wealthy. You know, they may be averaging £20,000 a year, £30,000 a year, you know, and they have their fan base, right? You know, they have their small fan base that supports them, but they're not wealthy. They're just lucky enough to have a fan base that's dedicated to support them like that. But that's not most artists. And I know that because I know quite a few artists, I know quite a few musicians and filmmakers and things like that. I used to be quite active on the poetry scene in London, and you meet a lot of different artists doing that. And yeah, you get a real understanding of how there's so many people out there trying to do something, and most of them won't even get to the TV. I'll just take the average here in the States. Now, I think I heard it's around $30,000 a year, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, even to make that kind of money as a musician is a tremendous amount of work. It's not easy at all. The people like the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's of the world who make like mega bucks, right? I mean, even those guys, like, they probably didn't. I mean, I'm not sure about Beyonce. Yeah, probably Beyonce as well. But I imagine they probably didn't make most of their money from music. Like, I think Jay-Z made most of his money through various other ventures. But even still, like that's not easy to get to that spot. That is a lot. slang. No, everything says among each other. I don't know. I don't think, man, I'm confused. Yeah, but Beyonce's been singing since she was like little. Like little. Like I think like pre 10 years old she's been singing. And then of course there was Destiny's Child and you know that whole thing, and she's done some movies and things. So yeah, she's been around a long time. She's only like just turned 40. No, yeah, Beyonce's definitely been putting in work. You know what? These are alright, but they're not spicy. They're not spicy. They never are spicy. That is a lie. Not spicy. They're not spicy. But yeah, if you go to like, I mean, imagine in your town you'd have like various like bars or clubs and things that do like certain nights for like, you know, emerging artists and things. If you go to those kind of nights, that's most musicians. That is most musicians. I've learned about her is some of the songs she made. She never even lived what she sung about. She had a decent upbringing. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, that sort of stuff doesn't bother me when it's like people sing about things that they didn't actually live. I'm honestly not that bothered about it. I know some people are, oh, you're not real, you're not being real. I mean, I feel like you can be genuine even if you're talking about things you haven't done. It depends on, well, how you're talking about it, you know, what you're actually saying, and ultimately what your message really is. But I do think it's possible to be genuine and to still maintain integrity, even if you're singing about things you haven't done. I mean, if the expectation is that every singer must have lived the things that they're singing about, nah, come on. It's like people that hear singing about like going into space and meeting aliens and whatever. It's like, come on, you know, people, not every song is going to be an account of somebody's actual life. And that's fine. You know, it shouldn't have to be. You know, you should be able to sing about things that you haven't necessarily done. Maybe you still have some kind of take on it or an insight to it. And often with musicians, you use the term like I a lot. Like I think Alanis Morissette said something like this. She said, like, most of the time when I say I in a song, I'm talking about myself. But there are times when I say I in a song, I'm talking about somebody else. You know, and I feel like that's probably the same for a lot of writers. Because when you're singing or when you're writing, it's like telling a joke. You tell it from your perspective, even though it's not necessarily something you've done. So, yeah, to me that's fine. I don't have an issue with people, like even rappers talking about, you know, robbing and mugging and this, that, and the other. I mean, DMX has a song where he says, I'm gonna kill your, is that something about I'm gonna kill your wife in front of you, then I'm gonna rape your daughter if she's older than 15. You know, like, I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure DMX weren't raping nobody's daughter or like checking for their age. Like, are you older than 15? 14 and a half. Okay, you're fine, you're fine. I'm pretty sure DMX wasn't doing that. So it's kind of like, I'm not bothered about that. It just seems to me like it's something that gets levied at musicians every now and then. Oh, you're not being real because you didn't live that life. It's like, okay. No. You know, music and this, I mean, artistic expression isn't always about the reality of things. You know, there's always things you can talk about in these things that come from a genuine place, even if it's not something you've actually done. Rappers, especially hardcore rappers, mostly rap about their experiences or reality in general. All right. All right. Listen, yeah. You can't be a rapper and a gangster. You can be a gangster that becomes a rapper. You can even be a rapper that becomes a gangster. But you can't be a rapper and a gangster. It won't work. People have tried, and they will always fail. Because being a gangster involves some level of distance from what you do, right? People know what you do. What up, Tommy? I believe every word, Rick. You know, being a gangster involves some level of distance from what you do. So people know what you do. People have heard of you, but they generally can't prove that you're doing what people say you do, right? Whereas being a rapper, if you're going to be rapping about these sorts of things, what up, X-Splix? You really just draw attention to yourself. And I'm sure you've heard about these guys who, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name, but it was one not that long ago. But anyway, there's more than one of these guys where they would literally rap about something that has happened, right? They'll put a rap song out about something that has actually happened, that they're involved in, start putting out names, I did this, I did that. A couple of weeks later, police turn up at their door and they're arrested. So any of these big time rappers, or not even just big time, but any of these like rappers where they've reached like a certain level, right? Chance Rapper, D1 are two examples. Where they've reached like a certain Chance Rappers, I mean, well, okay. I'm talking more about the criminal ones. Chance Rappers a bit more religious, I think. At least from what I've heard. I haven't heard a lot of his stuff. I don't know who D1 is, but Chance Rapper, stuff I've heard, he generally talks about like religion and booties or something, but but any rapper who's reached kind of a certain level of like, say, fame, and they're talking about like the gang life and that kind of thing, they're either talking about things from a long time ago, right? Or they're talking about stuff that didn't actually happen. And like I say, that's fine. I don't got a problem with that. I don't got a problem with that. Because if you're talking about things that did happen, and you're this famous, and you talk about something that happened last week, it ain't gonna end well for you. Got a new PC. Nice one. What'd you get? He's put Takeshi 69 in that too. I don't know what Takeshi 69 raps about. That guy just mumbles. I tried listening to one of his songs. I just could not make heads or tails of it. I just heard like a bunch of rambling and mumbling, and it's like, what the hell? The only words I could make out was, is you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh? That's it. That is it. My guy came out of prison and put out some crap song. In fact, what's this guy? Bobby Shmurda. Wasn't he rapping about something that actually happened that ended up going to prison for it? About a week ago. I'm gonna go down on him. That's a good song though. I like that song. I'm gonna run up, go on them. I'm gonna run and go down on them. That's not how it goes, but still. That's the laptop. Okay. HP ProBook 640 G5. Okay, cool. What the specs on that. I'm guessing G5 is generation 5. But yeah, what are you gonna use it for? Is that gaming, work, both? Some young rapper was just recently murked. Oh yeah, I heard about some of that. Yeah, another young rapper who was popped up, stranded at his funeral. Yeah, because you can't be a gangster and a rapper. It won't end well. I heard about one guy, I think about a week ago. My bad. I heard of one guy, I think about a week ago. A guy got killed. And the day before he got killed, or maybe short before he got killed, was a rapper, a young rapper, I think about 20 years old. He posted on his social medias about it says something about like all these enemies or something or other, but I still sleep easy at night. My enemies know where I live. If you want that smoke, I'm gonna be at my home in 5 minutes. That's what he posted on his socials. Dude's dead now. Why would you post something like that on your socials though? I ain't trying to victim blame here because it's still tragic. Let's be clear on that. It's a tragic thing. But why would you post that on your socials talking about I'm gonna be somewhere in 5 minutes and my enemies know where I live. If you want smoke, come find. What? You can't be a gangster and a rapper. It will not end well. Yeah, both. I'm learning to program. Okay, nice. Big game. Oh, awesome. Learning to program. Be a game dev. Oh, that's so cool, man. You got any games or ideas in mind? Not to work for. But yeah, man, I've heard about, I think like 2 or 3 young rappers in the past few weeks have been killed. Can't be half. Indeed. Can't be half the gangsters, all or nothing, for real. Because if you're in that kind of life, you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm a gangster on Mondays and Tuesdays, but the rest of the week I'm... Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. He was in a southern state, he would have had the means to protect himself. Maybe. But even still, why are you inviting your ops to come to your house and say about bringing smoke and whatever, regardless of whether he can protect himself or not? Why would you invite that? Because that kind of stuff, it sounds cool when you're like the gangster rapper, right? Yeah, come get me, you know where I live. You can post that if you're like, I don't know, Ice Cube's level. I mean, not that he would. I'm sure he's not posting stuff like that. But if you're at that kind of level, you can post things about, yeah, I'm gonna be at my house in 5 minutes. Come find me if you want that smoke. You know why? Because he knows none of his enemies knows where he lives. He knows none of these people know where he lives. You know, his house ain't listed in the yellow pages or whatever. Like nobody knows where he lives. So if he wanted to, I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying if somebody like Ice Cube or somebody in that high level, Jay-Z, if they wanted to, they can post stuff like that and act like, yeah, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug. They can do that. They can act that way. But best believe they are not in that life. You know? Not that Jay's, I know they don't act like they're in that life no more. I ain't trying to say that. I'm just trying to use them as an example because I'm talking about people of that level of fame. But when you're like up and coming rapper, living with your mum, yeah? You want to talk about being a gangster? Maybe you've had a hard life. Maybe you've sold drugs in the past. You've done things that you maybe don't want to do. You've had it tough. I get it. You're trying to come out of that. Of course, I get it. But you can't be walking both lines. You can't be walking both sides. You know what I mean? If you're trying to be in this world where potentially leads to like, fame, possible TV appearances, possible record albums, touring. It can lead to all possibly, right? And there's other life that leads to, even if you manage to stay alive and out of jail, it leads to constantly looking over your shoulder. Right? It leads to constantly having to cover your tracks. It leads to not knowing who you can trust. You know, even your best friends. They're two opposites. And you're trying to walk both sides of the fence. It won't work. You know, in fact, I don't know if you remember what Mr. Miyagi said in the first Karate Kid movie. He said, if you walk on the left side of the road, you're fine. You walk on the right side of the road, you're fine. If you walk in the middle, sooner or later, squish. And that's kind of like this. Except, you know, you're never going to be fine in the gangster world. Let's be clear on that. You're not going to be fine walking in the gangster world. There's no way that ends well for anybody. Even if you manage to do it successfully, it doesn't end well in the gangster world. You either end up dead or in jail or alone. You know what I mean? Dead or all three, really. You know what I mean? You either end up dead, jail, or alone, or all three. I'm crazy enough to put the bait out. Someone might be crazy enough to take it. Exactly. Exactly. And if you know you like got real gangsters out to get you, it makes absolutely no sense to be posting stuff like that on your social medias about come find me in my house, you know where I live if you want that smoke. Nah. It's tragic what happened to that kid. Dude was like 20 years old, I think. He was a young kid. But there's no good reason to post something like that on your socials. See, I can post that on my socials because I ain't got nobody trying to kill me. You know what I mean? If I post something like that on my socials about, yeah, my enemies know where I live, come find me. No, ain't nobody coming to get me. But if I was out here dealing drugs and like, you know, running up on the ops' bando and all that kind of stuff, if I was out here doing that, first of all, don't let nobody know where you live. That's like rule number one. Don't let nobody know where you live. Secondly, don't invite people who want to kill you to come to your house. I know Nelly. So man, nothing man, Red Man, LL Cool J, no, it was in a beef. I think the game wasn't in one too. No, I think some of them have been. Maybe not major beefs, but I think they have been. Like LL Cool J was in a beef with Cannabis back in the day. Well, I say it was in a beef with Cannabis. It might not be quite accurate. Cannabis was in a beef with LL Cool J. I think LL Cool J largely ignored him for the most part. But can't lie, man. LL Cool J got cussed. That song that Cannabis put out, Second Round Knockout, LL Cool J got cussed. Cool J did pull out a rebuttal eventually, but it was like years later. Years later. I think everybody forgot about it by that point. But yeah, LL Cool J was in a beef. Nas was actually in a beef with Tupac. It wasn't, I don't think they put any songs for each other, but they did have an issue with each other for a little while. I don't think it was too serious from what I've heard about it, and I didn't even know about it at the time. I only know about it like recently when Nas was talking about it. But yeah, they did have an issue. But I guess it didn't really go anywhere too far. And for Game, yeah, he's had beef with 50 Cent. He's had beef with 50 Cent. I think it's another rapper as well. But I know he's had beef with 50 Cent. Didn't know about Nas. Yeah, and I mean Nas I only knew about recently. Like I said, I didn't know about it at the time. But yeah, that was apparently like somebody said something and he thought Nas was saying something about him, and thought Tupac was saying something about him. And I mean, from what I can gather, it seemed like it was more of a misunderstanding than actual beef. But yeah, there was an issue there. Joel and 50, yeah. For a couple of years. I think that one's still going actually. I think they still don't like each other. is murder. Yeah, early 2000s. And by the way, let me clarify something. When I say you can't be a gangster and a rapper, that's what I mean. You can't be a gangster and a rapper. You can definitely be a criminal and a rapper. Plenty of rich people are criminals. You can definitely be a criminal and a rapper. And then once you start getting big in the rap game, you can still be a criminal. But you ain't out on the street like that. You ain't out on the street selling rocks like that. That ain't you no more. You know what I mean? You're not on the corner like that no more. You know what I mean? You ain't on roads like that no more. You ain't shotting like that no more. No, once you start getting a little bit big, you best leave all that behind. And best leave whatever town you're in, and whoever knows you, especially anybody who wants to do you harm, you best leave all that behind. And that's for the female rapper piece. There's been a few of those as well. I know Nicki Minaj, I think she had an issue with Remy Ma at one time. Or maybe Remy Ma had an issue with Nicki Minaj, was one of them. Son Luba, what up? Jackie O and Kia. Okay, I don't know those ones. No, my baby Beyonce, they got her. Well, we do. Yeah, man, they got her to change her song, innit? They got Beyonce to change her song lyrics. I can't believe it, man. I mean, I can believe it. But yeah, Beyonce changed one of her song lyrics. And you know what? That's actually the song that was called Heated. The song's called Heated. And that's my favorite song on the album as well. That's my favorite song on the album. That tune. And they got to change the lyrics. I don't know when the lyrics got changed. I think it happened maybe a few days ago. I don't actually see when it got changed. But I was listening to the album when it released, so I don't think I've heard it since it's been changed. And to be honest, I might not even notice the change. It's not like I've learned all the words or anything, you know what I mean? So I might not even notice the change. Lil Kim versus Minaj, Minaj Land, real quick though. Here is the chick whose most famous song it is, My Neck. Oh yeah, I remember her. I remember that song. And Lil Kim. I like Lil Kim, man. She's cool. People need to put some respect on her name. But yeah, man. Lil Kim was like, I mean, pretty much a pie. I guess between Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, I'd say. I'm not sure which one came first. I think Foxy Brown might be in a little bit before Lil Kim, maybe just a little bit before. But it don't matter. I mean, they were around about the same time, really. But yeah, I say between Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, and maybe more so Lil Kim. I feel like she was a massive pioneer of modern day hip hop, modern day hip hop. No, what am I trying to say? A massive influence on modern day female rappers. And and maybe, and not even just female rappers, like a lot of musicians out, a lot of singers outside of hip hop. Like Lil Kim wasn't the first to do it for sure, but she was maybe amongst the first to do it in a big way. Um, Certainly in terms of, say, our recent generations. You know, Lil Kim was maybe amongst the first to be, say, sexually liberated in her music and talk about, you know, sexual pleasures openly and unashamedly. You know, she would do that, and that's very much how a lot of songs are now. When you listen to a lot of female rappers, they all kind of go along that same sort of route. In fact, some of them make their whole, or near enough to their whole kind of persona about that. And like I say, it's not even just in hip hop. You know, you see it a lot in other music as well. And yeah, I felt like you could trace that back to at least say the modern artists. You can probably trace that back to Lil Kim. Like I said, that she wasn't the first. You know, if you want to talk about the first, you could be going back many times, many years. But yeah, I thought she's probably amongst the first to do it in a big way, and certainly in terms of, say, like recent generations of people who are directly influenced what's going on now. Yeah, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, yeah, put some respect on their names, man. Put some respect on their names. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for them doing what they were doing back in what, the 90s, 2000s, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It's just a thing. But hey. I'm not sure what time it is with Lil Kim, plus Lil Kim is way older than her. Yeah, Lil Kim, I'm not sure how old she is. I think she's probably in her 50s by now, I think. I don't know how Lil Kim looks now. Take my head, she still looks young, but I don't like the way she looks. She was so beautiful in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, yeah, I mean, I just feel like yeah, I mean, it's she's gone through changes. I think that's fair to say, but it's like whatever reason she had for doing that, it's her reason, you know. And I feel like a lot of times people get into this thing about, oh, she looked better, she looked better, she looked better, but I think for her, it's not about what other people think, you know. So I hope she's well. Let me just say, I hope she's well. I hope she's doing all right. I think she's doing all right. So if she's happy with what she's doing and her choices and where she is, then ain't for me to be saying, oh, you know what I mean. This is like, it's a personal thing for her, and I don't know her like that. So yeah, Fox Run too. She had them hands literally call itself Halo, whatever. She looks way better. I like herself. I like herself back in the name. I mean, it could be that, or it might not be. I mean, I think sometimes it's very easy to make a assessment on somebody based on the little you know about them, and I think sometimes you just got to be careful with that sort of thing, because and then it's like we don't know what's going on with her, or if indeed anything's going on with her at all. So as far as I think we can tell, she's fine right now. You know, she's still putting out music, she's still touring, you know, she's still doing her thing, still showing her face where changes and all. So it's kind of like, if that's who she is and if she's comfortable and happy with that, then hey man, it was like, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, I think sometimes guys especially, we need to kind of move away from this idea of women doing things to please men. You know, I think sometimes we have that kind of ingrained a little bit in ourselves. So we say things like, oh yeah, this is better and that's better and she looks good here and look. And it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you can have these opinions. I mean, they're valid opinions to have. But at the same time, it's like you have to, I think it's important to remember that whatever she's doing and why she's doing it, it's not anything to do with us and what we think she looks like, you know. So it's kind of like, for me, it's just, you know what, let me just stay out of that. I mean, I just know for myself, it can be like when people say certain things that they mean as a compliment, and it doesn't always translate as a compliment just because of what you know beyond what's going on. So you can kind of like, or you try to, and accept the compliment. You try to, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? It's good. I think I'll sell my PS5. Not sure yet. Why? Sorry if I was around. She jumped on a woman for doing her nails wrong then when Foxy went it on a cruise to a nail salon. On board, she saw the same woman. She thought, oof. Damn. Well, that's going to be awkward. Well, I don't know if he should or not. I don't have a PS5, so I don't know if it's even worth having, but I'm just really just asking why he's saying it. Like, do you not like it? No good games with it? Is it a crap machine? Broken? Cumbersome? I actually think I want to do the PlayStation Plus service. I don't have a PlayStation 5. I've got a PlayStation 4. But I might join up to the PlayStation Plus service. The was it the top one? What's it called? The not essential. What's it called? Like the ultimate one? I can't remember what it's called. But I might join to the top one because you get the game streaming with that service, and there's some games that I'd like to play that I could play on my PC and just stream to my PC, and I'd only be paying like £100 a year for it, which is not too bad actually. And the only things that I know that I won't be able to take full advantage of it, because I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I won't be able to take full advantage of that service because some of the games you could only get through downloading to PlayStation 5. So that kind of sucks, but I think for the games that are available to stream, £100 a year, still could be worth it, you know, still could be worth it. So I won't do it just yet, maybe in a month or two or whenever, but it looks like a good option, a good service, pretty decent deal. So yeah, I might join that at some point, maybe before the end of the year or maybe early next year. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I think at some point I want to join that, even if I don't have a PlayStation 5. Extra. Read all about it. So, Missy Elliott, MC like Queen Latifah, Left Eye, Salt Pepper, The Brat, Raw Digger, and other old school rappers too. Yeah, don't forget them. Missy Elliott, legendary. Lisa Left Eye, rest in peace. Queen Latifah, of course. MC Light, I don't know much about, to be honest. Or the Brat. I know a little bit. I think I won the Brat song years ago in Raw Digger. I know she used to run with like Busta Rhymes. And it's Salt and Pepper, of course. Old school. Dun dun na 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 na. That's what it's called. Oh, Extra. Okay, the top one's called Extra. Cool. Yeah, I think I might join that. I mean, I looked into it, and it looks like a pretty good service, and the games available are games that I'm interested in. They're not all like the latest games, which is fine. I don't always play the latest games anyway, but the ones that are available there, you know, they look pretty solid. And I think that, along with, I've got the Xbox Live already, so I think it could be a good complement along with that. So yeah, I might just do that at some point. I might just. But as of now, it is 10:30 p.m. I've been going for just about an hour, so I think it's probably about time to start wrapping up and winding down this live stream. Now the Brat is the radio talk show Dish Nation. Okay, nice. Big up to the Brat. But yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping up, winding down, and start heading home because, you know, got to do that. But yeah, guys, you've been awesome as always. Appreciate you joining me on this impromptu live stream from Wandsworth, 9 Elms area of London, sitting in my car eating crisps, Pringles, which were not spicy, but they're quite nice, just not spicy. But yeah, I'm a log off, head back, And I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. I know I said I'm gonna do a gaming stream tomorrow. I don't know if that's still happening because I may be out. But if not, then God willing, I'll be doing a gaming stream tomorrow. Or if I am out, then not. But yeah, should be streaming again. If not tomorrow, then hopefully by Monday, do the next movie night. And I say, get your ears pierced and a few more tats, dude. I actually got my ears pierced years ago, but I took them out, so they've since healed up. But I don't know if I want to do that again. I don't know if I want to get them pierced again. I mean, if I did, I'd have to get them pierced in a slightly different area. I don't think you could get them pierced in the exact same spot. But yeah, I don't think I want to get my ears pierced again. And as for more tattoos, never say never. Never say never. But it's not on my mind to get more tattoos. But hey, we'll see. Well, all right, head over there. Appreciate you coming through. To you, big up to you and your crew. But yeah, till whenever, if ever, peace.